Hello, folks. Oh, happy Halloween, yes. I actually forgot it's Halloween today. I knew it was coming up, but oh yeah. Any of y'all celebrating Halloween? Or doing anything for fun in your respective countries? Do you guys celebrate Halloween where you're at? Just suffering? Oh, well, that sort of goes with Halloween, the horror aspect. Ah, ooh, that's cool. Now, I've always loved Halloween. In the U.S., it's just you probably familiar. Everyone dresses up or goes to parties or whatever. It's just an excuse to cosplay. you know, um, though right now it kind of makes me sad because I need to hurry up getting more modding stuff in the game or downloadable assets and all that. So it would be such a perfect opportunity to add downloadable stuff, standard Halloween monsters and this and that. Happy Diwali? Is that yeah? Is that also today? It's the same day, or is that just like another? What is Diwali? I should know this. I feel culturally insensitive. Is what QuickTime? Oh no, Diwali festival. Okay, I know I've heard that. Let's see. Oh, sorry, I was got a mess here. Ooh, cool. Very cool. Festival of Lights. It's funny how many holidays around now have like or have something to do with like lights. Well, Halloween I guess doesn't, but I know like down in Mexico there's Dia de los Muertos. If anyone's seen Coco by Pixar, it's about that, which is the Day of the Dead. But they always have like all those candles and a lot very like light centric. So that's cool. Everyone likes light this time of year. What is this? I voted. Cool. Which yeah, that's speaking of voted, yeah, that's coming up in the U.S. next Tuesday. So yeah, that'll be a fun, stressful day. Oh, why is the cam window circle? Oh, I'm trying something new here, so I'm switching up a few things. Last week was a disaster trying to have like the city in the background. I feel like the lighting was terrible and it was like glaring on my screen. So I'm switching stuff up. I got like a one of those little like circle streamer lighty things. I was also like looking for other apps for there's like the cool ones people have where like your head is just like blue screened out floating over stuff. I didn't come across that. Well, I sort of did. Let me see if I'm curious if this will work. Burp, burp, burp. Wait. Um, okay, I guess it's not showing up now. There was some. Yeah, why isn't that showing up? Um, Maybe it's because I'm already streaming that. Let me. Well, I don't want to mess with it too much right now. But yeah, normally I use QuickTime Player, but I was trying this little funky app someone recommended called Floating Head. So just seeing how this would work. Theoretically, there's settings for it somewhere, but I don't see them. Blah. Pardon my mess here. Oh. 1.8's estimated release date is still. Here's my standard apology for being slow on 1.8. It does not. Um, yeah, just working as fast as I can. I know this 1737 update is taking way longer than it should. Um, I ideally should have delayed this 1737 stuff until like 1.8 at some point, like midway through 1.8, but I went ahead and did it now. it's just taking a little while just because of like the massive UI revamp. So you can still, let's see, it's still coming along. I'm doing a lot of stuff right now with like logging server communications, basically like still wiring this stuff up. So these values will just update automatically based off what's in your account. It's going to be super cool. I know this is stuff, I'm like nerding out on it, but it's also, it's very boring to talk about because it's like, yeah, who cares? My number will be updating. Hooray. But for my end, it's going to be really neat where basically I've been writing the system where I can wire up controls like this to something in the database so that essentially if I run like database stuff on the server and just like your account gets assigned tickets, that'll just like magically update on your client like instantly, which is super cool. And so that'll apply to all this stuff. So it used to be there's a lot of like hoops I had to jump through to, like update your ticket count and then send a message to the client and do all this stuff to keep things synced. But this will make things a lot more like automatic, which is great. So things like achievements and ticket counts and party status and stuff like that. Basically, I'll just have to like update that in the database, and then it'll just magically show up on whatever you're playing on. So I don't have a good demo of that right at the moment, aside from all these little debugging log messages. But yeah, that's what I'm still working on. So that's why this is all part of the 1737 kind of UI revamp, which is right now I feel like that's the biggest delay for 1.8. So I apologize to keep kicking the 1.8 can down the road, but that's where we are. Oh, text is getting bigger. I must be missing things. Ooh. Okay, server event, which will end in 14 minutes. This is the channel, which has all new server icons, and you have to choose the winner. Oh, Halloween server. Oh, okay. All right, let's do this. Halloween server icons. Server events. Wait, where's the Halloween server icons? So these are, oh, I guess I can't see the chat now. Oh, there's a lot of good ones here. Yeah, I feel like in general, all of these, well, actually, maybe I should come back because if the event ends in 14 minutes, I shouldn't be like judging yet. So let me jump back into coffee stage. Okay, do you want to remind me? So if it's ending 14 minutes from now, people can theoretically still submit submissions, right? So do you want to just let me know when the 14 minutes is up or remind me? Whoa, people are talking about. Man, apparently I missed some sort of. It's always religion and politics. That's always a good idea to get into debates online about that. Islamic culture. I know a bit. I know some Islamic culture. It's no politics. I feel like, I don't know. In my opinion, there's a line between celebrating and talking about culture versus if you start like debating, oh, this one's better than that one, or this is the one true religion, or something like that. To me, that's the line. Like that never ends well. But I feel like it's fine to like appreciate different ones and talk about them, or just like enjoying all the variety of cultures on this little planet. Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm like missing so many messages here. Um, oh, this is an interesting question. Do you plan to add a landscape to the opposite side of the camera so that one day you can add the free camera to the game? That is something I've thought about. I know we've talked about things like AR mode or AR versions of the game, stuff like that. So I think there are cases where it would be neat to have like full 3D maps available where you can see them from all sides. I haven't really, in terms of Bomb Squad itself, I don't plan to change it, from kind of the single camera mode, because I do feel that that makes it easier to make maps and things that way. If you don't have to worry about the back sides, you just have to make it look good from one angle. But I could see some variant of the game or some situation where it would be cool to be able to see it from all sides. Like if we did like a spin-off project, like Bomb Squad AR, or some AR version where you're like playing on a tabletop, or like a VR version, or just something where it's like there's more camera freedom. I'm guessing we'd probably make specific maps just for that version that looked good from everywhere. It's sort of like, in the game like this, the menu map is the one map where you can sort of, at least when the background's turned on, it sort of works from 360 because it's rotating around. So it would just be like we'd have to have more maps like that. So I could see them appearing for spin-off versions of the game or specific versions of the game, but I don't think I plan on having that for all versions, because that adds extra work for people making maps. I hope that answers the question a little bit. It's sort of like when I made the VR version of the game, I had to go back and add like extended backgrounds for all the maps, just so that someone playing it in VR would like see something when they look to the left or right. A lot of them are just like flat black or whatever, but it's still like something that I had to add. So it is kind of a bummer in that it does add extra work doing stuff like that. This is another good question. Have you ever thought about adding a button that allows little wave animation that Spaz tutorial does? That would be super cool, and I'm wondering if that would make sense, like going forward. Right now the game is kind of designed to be very minimal in terms of like what you need to play it is a D-pad and 4 buttons. So everything's built around that limitation. So there's not really an extra button for like waving. But it does seem like most anyone with controllers, or in most cases we could assume someone might have more than that these days. It's like most any controllers you pick up are going to have like so many extra buttons everywhere. It's kind of a shame we're not using them. So maybe it would be cool to. I mean, I guess we can use them for like run and stuff. That's the one thing it does with extra buttons. But it could be cool to map it to like a taunt, or just extra little silly things that don't really affect gameplay. Or if anyone has any idea for like a good mapping of that for just having the 4 buttons, is there like 2 buttons we could hold, or some predictable way that you could do like a taunt or whatever, or an emote, like just with 4 buttons? That's, I don't know, worth thinking about. But yeah, this is what I was thinking, like you said, like make it an optional advanced button. Just something where maybe by default people won't have that, but if you want to map that, or if you have a controller with extra buttons, maybe that would automatically be mapped. Is there I feel like I'm out of date with gaming conventions. Is there like a standard mapping for, that type of stuff in games? Or is every game just do something different? Different? Okay. 1.8 estimated. No, it's not. Hopefully not too much longer, but this UI revamp has been taking me a long time. Mainly on the server side stuff, just getting server stuff wired up with all this. Yeah. And then, like I said, I have plenty of other excuses too why I'm slow lately with moving. I just we got back from a trip to visit my family this weekend, so that slowed us down too a little bit. When did you prove language translations? I would have to check. Basically, when language translations come in, I try to. It sends me an email whenever you submit a language translation, and so I try to keep up to date and scan through them and check them out and approve them within a few days or something. But occasionally I slip up. This would be like a map maker. Will there be, okay, the question is, will there be a map maker in the game, like Geometry Dash? I would like I actually have this little app that I started tinkering on in terms of like an AR based 3D modeling, like something that theoretically could allow you to start making really simple maps and things. I don't know if I will take that all the way, or it'd be super cool, but it's one of those. I would love to spend like a few months making that work really well. But right now it's one of those things where it's like it's not high priority, so I have not gone any farther with that. But it would be neat. I mean, in general, that's a very high level goal of mine. Is like I would like to make it easier to share maps and new characters and user content. So obviously, like an in-game editor would be super cool for that. Things are starting to get fancier with just in-game tools or whatever. So if you haven't kept up to date on this, this newer versions of the game, if you bring the dev console down, there's now several tabs for messing around with stuff. It used to just be like the Python console. One thing I added in this last week is if you're doing log messages, they show up colored here in the in-game console, and they also have little extra bits of info like the time and the log name whenever you do a log message. So yeah, so trying to make this more helpful. Also, you'll see the same thing at the terminal. It'll tell you like the time each message came out, which logger it is, and then the message. So trying to so I have been spending a decent amount of time like cleaning up log stuff, just for my own sanity's sake, because with all this server stuff, like I need to be logging things like on the client, on the server, on the master server, like who's talking to who, what happens when they do. It's a lot going on, so having good logs is important. I would like to, I thought maybe I'd take a few minutes and do just a little demo of like how this logging stuff works though, just to kind of show people. Because this new like logging tab, it's kind of complicated looking, but it's actually pretty simple. So I thought maybe I'll just do that now. I'll just take a few minutes to show you guys how like logging can work. So so if you're not familiar, Python has this whole like logging system. Normally, if you're writing games, a lot of times what you'll just do is like throw prints in there, prints to just like, hey, character touched flag, character died, character whatever, just stuff to like help you see what's happening. But Python has this whole logging system, which is kind of a slightly fancier version of that, where you can log messages and then you give each log message a severeness. So you can have debug messages. You can see here, it's like, these are not logger names. So these are kind of basically like channels that logs can go through, and then each one can have a severeness. So like debug, info, warning, error, and critical. So I'm gonna reset this. So when it's reset, by default, there's a root logger, which everything inherits from the root logger. So right now, root logger is set to warning. So what that means is you only see log messages that are warning or worse, like warning, error, or critical. Those are kind of more severe log messages. And what you can do then is you can set these other things. By default, everything inherits from that. So this is set to like not set, which means it inherits warning. And BA is like the root logger for Ballistica stuff. That's set to not set, which means warning, blah, 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 blah. Now, if you come in here and we just set the root logger to debug, that means we're gonna get like debug messages and everything more severe, which means like, if you come in here, you're getting like a crazy amount of stuff, which is super useless and probably pretty inefficient too. So let's go back to warning on that. Anytime you change anything in here, this reset button pops up. So that'll switch it back to defaults. But it's kind of neat. You can basically come in here and this will show you like all the loggers that exist in Python, and then you can just set each one to whatever you want. So one thing that's kind of cool, like if we come in here, and there's ba.lifecycle. If we set this to debug, and then let's go ahead and restart the game. And now you'll see we're getting all these debug messages from ba.lifecycle. So this just tells you like, oh, this is starting up BA base, BA plus, blah, blah, blah. It's done bootstrapping. App state is now running, blah, blah, blah. Or then if we quit the game, it shows you what it's doing. App state is now shutting down, waiting, blah, 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 blah. So basically there's a lot of handy stuff you can get at like under the hood. This used to be something where you'd have to like set an environment variable in your shell or some complicated thing, which is, yeah, like a lot. That was kind of a bummer because it was only possible on like desktops like this. Like you couldn't do that on the Android version. But with this stuff, it should work anywhere, like on the Android version. So I think maybe I will just do a quick demo of how to like add this if you're writing a mini game, like how you might add this in a mini game. So, my big face bubble is blocking things. Not used to that. Okay, so if I come into the standard, let's see. Whoops, that's my master server code. Don't want to edit that. So source, assets, bedata, Python. I'm just going to edit a mini game real quick and just add some logging. So Python scene-v1 lib. So this is where all the scene-v1 stuff lives, like games, etc. Let's just do capture the flag, shall we? Oh my gosh. I have so much stuff open. Let's just clean up some of this mess here. Okay. Keep that around. Okay, there. Starting to clean up my mess a little bit. There, we can actually see messages in the back. Okay, so let's bust out capture the flag here. And the way logging can work is, so normally, so there are some log messages in here. So if we import logging and then do like logging.error, oh, this is a common, like, yeah, logging.error, that will usually show up because error messages are kind of severe. But let's throw some debug messages in here. So, actually first let's make a logger. So if you just do like logging.error, that will use the root logger. But we want to like make our own little special logger. So let's just do logger equals logging.getLogger CTF. I mean, there's a convention where a lot of times like a logger name, you'll use the same thing as the Python script name. So in this case, it would technically be like, let's see what, scene-v1 lib.game.capture the flag. But you could call this whatever. So I'm just going to call it ba.capture the flag. So this will like be a logger under here. One weird thing with the logger stuff is it uses camel case. It's like one of the modules in Python that is not like lowercase. You'd expect it to be like that based on Python conventions, but it's not. Logging stuff has this. The Bomb Squad API used to look like this, if any of you remember. Okay, so anyway, so logging.getLogger. So now we just have this logger variable we made, and then let's just try to use it. So you just do like logger dot, and then the logger has different things. So you can do like debug or logger.info or logger.warning. So let's just do like logger.info, hello world from capture the flag. And now, if we come into here, we should okay, am I editing in the wrong place? Oh wait, no. So I did not see anything appear because that was an info message. And by default, if we come into logging, you'll see that there it is, ba.capture the flag. It's not set, which means warning, which means we're only going to see warning and more. So now let's set that to info and hop out of there and hop back in. And there, you see hello world from capture the flag. So you can kind of see how that works. Or if we do like logger.debug, hello from debug from capture the flag. So now we should see, like, because logging is set to info, we should see info but not debug. So that means let's come into here. Yeah, so we're seeing the info. Hello world from capture the flag. Info just shows up in like regular colors, but we don't see that debug message. But if we came in here and turned capture the flag onto debug, and then did that same thing again, go back to here. See, now we can see the debug messages. So I hope that makes sense. But basically what that means is if you set up a little logger for yourself, you can throw these little debug messages like all over the place to like help you say like, okay, this character got the flag, this character punched this character. You know, it's just like, this is, you can use this for like testing things. Like I'll just do that right now. So let's see, capture the flag. Somewhere there should be a, you know, when a team picks up the flag. Or let's just do spawn flag for team. So we'll just do logger.debug. Spawning flag for team. Okay, I'll finish this up and then this will be the end of the demo. So if I'm boring anyone to death. So now if we come into here, capture the flag, we should see spawning flag for team blah, spawning flag for team blah. Now if we go and that should happen every time. So if we throw the flag off, it's yeah. So we're getting a debug message every time the flag spawns. But the neat thing about this is when you come back in here and we reset stuff, now that logging stuff is no longer running. So so we can go throw the flag off. Whoops. Throw the flag off and no log messages. So it's kind of a nice way to, as I said, for like if you're testing code and debugging code, you can throw these things in there, and then you don't have to worry about taking them out. So they're still in there. If you want to go back and turn that logger, flip it back to debug, you can see those messages again. Because the way I always used to work is instead of like a logger to debug here, I would just do like print for team blah. Yeah, I would just do like something like that, and then like when I was done testing, I would just come in and delete that. And so that's the bummer with that way, is that you have all this like stuff for testing your code, but then you like delete it all at the end. And so if you need to test your code again, it's gone. So by using the logging stuff, it's just kind of, it's convenient because it hangs around. So now I'm gonna go and rip this out because otherwise I would forget to do that, and then you would all have these debugging messages. Okay. Anyway, there's my hopefully useful demo for the day for any modders. Oh yeah, but I'm not sure why it was twice. Oh, I think there's some like magical stuff that happens under the hood. Like it will, like the game instance. Actually, where was that? Oh, that was not. That was in CTF flag. So that was in the flag class. I wasn't paying attention. I thought it was in the game class. So yeah, I was wondering why that showed up twice too. It totally makes sense why it printed twice though now, because that's when a flag was getting created, and there's two flags. So hope that all makes sense. Did anyone have any questions about that stuff? I feel like this is class or something. There will be a quiz tomorrow. It's time. It's time for judging the pumpkins. Okay. Okay, where was that again? Remind me. Oh my god. Oh, Halloween server icon. Whoa. So this is for this icon, right? Like on the Discord. Let me go back to. Yes, that icon. Okay, all right. So, oh man, so many good options. Very good production quality on that one. Is that like AI generated partially or anything, or it looks very polished? Actually, come back here for a second. AI, okay. It's tricky with that kind of stuff because with AI stuff you get the good production quality, not like kind of for free, so it's hard to know like whether to judge it on that or not. Because if someone spent like a day painting that by hand, it's very different from AI generated. I mean, it might look the same, but in terms of like the time they spent on it, I feel like that's a factor. Okay, let me, 1 second. Where to go? Where? So many channels. All right, moment of contemplation here. In general, my thought process is like for a server icon, I kind of feel like it shouldn't deviate too far from the original icon. Um, this is for my own personal reasons because like I remember last time the server icon changed, like I was looking through my bajillion Discord servers and it took me quite a while to actually figure out which one was the bomb squad. So I don't know if anyone else has that problem, but yeah, that's for me. I would almost I kind of feel like this might be my choice in terms of, because it keeps the same icon. It has the orange Halloween color. But I might vote for this one just simply because it wouldn't be that, or not simply, but largely because it wouldn't be that big of a change. It's more like a color shading change. Like that's super cool with I like the jack-o'-lantern theme. This is super cool. I love this would be a close runner-up, I think. It doesn't change the look too much, and it has like the clay, that's super awesome. This also is very cool. So yeah, I feel like my three tops would be like this one, and this one, kind of for that reason. But yeah, I kind of feel like this one might be a good balance between a bit of a Halloween theme and also still looking like the Bomb Squad icon. So um, I think that's my vote. But yeah, these are all very good. I love this. Like the artistry on this one is super cool. I just feel like I said, I feel like it gets a little bit away from the Bomb Squad icon a bit to where like I'd lose the server. So anyway, good job, everyone. Oh, it's a good question. Why was Bomb Squad in translation changed to app name? That was largely, well, let's see. It was largely for spin-off projects and things like that. If there is, like I mentioned, if there's like a variation of the game that comes out, like Bomb Squad AR or something where the name is a little bit different, then that means that I can recycle those translations. We don't have to do a whole new set of translations with a new name in there. So it wasn't specifically for it wasn't for any specific upcoming reason. It was just more like to have that freedom in the future to be able to change the name or have different games with the name changed. I'm just trying to find a balance between treating Bomb Squad as a game but also as like an engine that we can use to make other stuff, if that makes sense. So hope that answers that question. Aw, thank you for this. I feel the same. Like in my mind, I feel like Bomb Squad has been in like a 10-year soft launch beta period, and so it's like we're hopefully finally coming up onto what it can really be. Uh, yeah, I'm really excited to, again, I apologize for everything taking so long and being slow, but, I got a lifetime to keep working on this stuff and I'll keep going on it. But yeah, I'd love to get to a place where it's like mixing and matching power ups, seeing what people can come up with, like experimenting with different, kind of feels, and then just letting things evolve and see where they go. Whoa, flashy. I did, yeah, that might. I did. It's funny when I took Bomb Squad to Google when they were promoting it for Android TV launch. One bit of feedback they had is like between rounds when there's like the flashing text that says like so and so won. It used to flash a lot faster, but they were just like, could we ask you to slow this down because this might trigger epilepsy or whatever. So it's one of those things I never thought about, but yeah, Google mentioned that at some point. When is Ballistica 2.0 going to be released? As soon as I get it done. I really can't make predictions on that one. Even 1.8 is. I keep wanting to say like, oh, 1.8 is only a few weeks out, but I keep taking longer and longer on it. So I hope you can all see why I just really don't like making time predictions. I'm just going to keep working and hopefully get it out there soon. Bomb Squad will use C++. Yes, Bomb Squad does use C++. It's quite interesting. If you go to, at this point, I think it's like almost exactly half C++, half Python. If you go to ballistica.net, oh, capture the flag is done. Go to ballistica.net, pop over to GitHub. There's something or other here, which, if you come down here, yeah, there we go. 47% Python, 46% C++. Though if you add the little bit of C code, which I kind of lump the two together, then that comes out at 47.5. So it's technically a little bit more C or C++. 0% Docker file. I guess there's enough in there to get noticed, but it doesn't add up to enough to make a... I'm surprised at 0.5% CMake. That's more than I would have expected in a way. Though actually, now that I think about it, the CMake list gets updated with all source code files. So I guess this is a pretty big file. I suppose that makes it, yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there. So I guess that's one large CMake file counts as a small percentage of the overall thing. But yeah, this would also be neat to see over time, like Python versus C++. If you looked at this when I first started writing the game, it would have been like 95% C++, 5% Python. But it's slowly been kind of reversing over the years. Was this the mod from a while back? Bombing over it? Oh, yeah, yeah. I still love that stuff like this is that people,
As you can see, I had no problems with the initial obstacles.
I won't show the whole thing here, but it was kind of cool. Like, I love the fact that it's like a 2D mod or 2D game, basically. It's like, how is that even possible? I didn't intend that. Like Ballistica intro, like Unity games. Well, this comes up a bit, like people saying like, oh, the game should have a splash screen or whatever. I am curious, like how many, like I'm usually running the game on Mac. I'm usually running the game like on my, decently beefy Mac or PC or whatever I'm working on, and so it comes up pretty instantly, to where it makes it seem like a splash screen would be kind of pointless. But I also know a lot of folks are on phones and things that it probably takes a little bit longer to launch. Like, how many of you, do you feel like a splash screen would be worth it, or something that comes up while the game is loading, or do you feel like it loads too fast to make that useful? Like who, if we did a vote or something, like who wants a splash screen and who just wants like a fade? Because yeah, it should load very fast, but there are, like I said, like older phones or slower phones or things like that, or slower PCs or anything like that. I can understand in some cases it could take a moment. Oh, I really do want to release 1.8 because I feel like for me an important thing is every so often like it's good to have like a stake in the ground where it's like, okay, I've got all this new stuff in there now. I just need to let it like cook for a bit, get the bugs out and let people catch up with mods and things like that. So I don't want to take things further than 1.8 at this point because 1.9 will have a lot of changes too in terms of squads mode and stuff. More like merging these two. I can understand but it's also like I just don't want to make people wait longer basically because if I did merge 1.8 and 1.9, I assume you mean that it would mean adding the features of 1.9 and that stuff's going to take a little while. So 1.8 does seem like a good like line in the sand in terms of like that, finish up the features that are half done and then call it a day. Yes. Once I get done with this silly 1737 UI revamp, if you were here whenever it was, a few months ago, whatever it was at this point, I had the asset pack stuff that I was working on. So I do want to get to the point where I can do a nice demo of just like, oh, hey, here's how to, if you have a OBJ file from Blender or something, here's how you'd make a map out of it and then load it into the game using asset packs, like without having to sideload anything on your phone or whatever. So I'm super excited to get to that point. Okay, going back for a second. Yeah, for me it's like this, like everything launches pretty fast to where I kind of feel like there's no room for a loading screen in there. That may change like as the game gets more big assets and things like that. Like there might just be a little bit more time needed to load that stuff. It can import assets from server hosts. Yes, there will be a little bit of caveat in that there's kind of a permission system where if you're hosting a server and you want everyone to be able to download stuff from your server, it'll probably have to be like approved in some way. I can set up like mods or something to do that, or just approve everything myself. So there'll probably my thought is there'll be like two ways that people can download your server stuff automatically. One would be if it's like publicly approved, which basically just means I know it's not full of like Nintendo assets that are gonna get me in trouble, stuff like that. Or two, I plan to have some sort of like dev. I think it's not really wired up yet, but just like dev team or invite people to your dev team sort of thing, or where you can basically invite all your friends to your little group and then all your friends can download your asset packs automatically without them being approved or whatever. So that's my thought on how it'll work. I want to make it somewhat open to where like you can invite a lot of people into your tester group or whatever. So if you're really just making mods to play with your friends and stuff, like that should be 100% doable. But if you're making mods and you want the entire world to see them, then we'll have to just be a little bit more careful about that. I mean, maybe we could do something where like by default people can download, but then they can report if it's something copyrighted or whatever, and then it gets clamped down on. We'll have to see like what the best. Cause I don't want to make a bunch of work for people or for myself to like approve things, but I also I want the game to be protected against copyright infringement lawsuits and things like that. So we'll have to see what works best. But yeah, the idea is that it should technically be fully possible for. If you make a map or whatever, it'll just download it on the fly from the server, or from the cloud. It won't be coming from the server. Like if you make an asset pack and then you're hosting a server that uses that asset pack, like your server will not be sending those assets out. Those will be coming from ballistica.net, where there's plenty of bandwidth. So you don't have to worry about like the entire world downloading large textures from your little server that you got running. Scroll the up now. Scroll up. Uh-oh. Press. Uh-oh. Is this Rick rolling? What is this? Oh. Oh, download the image you selected as the winner and put a message in server events saying the winner is Blair. With adding the. Oh man, this is complicated. All right, let's see here. Let me try. I feel like it's super intimidating doing any computer stuff like with people watching. I feel like do you guys feel that way? I feel like I lose like 50% of my computer abilities if there's like anybody watching. Okay, so Let's go with SOI, soy? Soy, yeah. Server events, server events, server events. Contrats. All right. Can I whoops. I guess I shouldn't have published that before I edited it. Contrats. I should just keep it contrats. It can be like an inside joke. Whew, I did it. Yo. When 3.56.7 update. That will be in the year 2037, September 38th. Oh, this comes up too. Make a map, make a 1.8 map with Blender, and we will release it. I sadly am a Blender dummy still. Yeah, I've mentioned that before. It's on my to-do list. I would love to take a few weeks and learn Blender, but I've spent years and years and years working with Maya, so I'm still a Maya guy. Still got my old. Let's see if it's launching right now. Maya traditionally takes 10 years to launch. Haven't actually launched Maya since I updated my OS, so let's see if it works. Hello, Maya. Maybe it's not working. Maybe I need an update or something. Maybe I'll try one more time. Come on, Maya. You can do that. Or you can't. Huh. Okay, well, I'll have to look into that. That's a good question. How does it work with PS4 or with PlayStation? Is that a thing? PS Plus is like, I know Nintendo has like their online service you have to play. Does that apply for like any games? Like if an indie game launches with multiplayer online, you have to subscribe to like Nintendo's thing to use that, or? Oh, yeah, that's a bummer. But yeah, so what is the PlayStation one? What is PS Plus? I apologize, I don't have any like modern consoles at the moment. Well, I have a Switch, but I don't have the online stuff for it. Eric, do you have animation opening chest and new menu? No, not yet. It will probably be, I mean, I really just want to get 1737 out the door, even if there's no cool animation for the chests, just to get them like functional. So they'll probably like shake a little bit or something and then pop open. It'd be cool to do a fun little opening animation. But yeah, I want to get I'd rather get like 1737 out there, and then maybe 1738, I can polish the animations a little bit or something. Oh, cool. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I feel like this is Halloween-y, and I feel like I'm not going to lose it. Or, I feel like it's similar enough. Also, I think the orange background, it's close enough to the default kind of yellow background that my eyes still sort of associates it. So yeah, so good job on the icon, but yeah, my random little side note is I think there's things important in stuff like icons, which is consistency. So I think that, yeah, like the other ones, there were some very cool artistic directions that it was taken, but I feel like the nice part of this is it's close to the old one, or the standard one. What do we bet? Steam and Epic. Yeah, it's. I mean, talking about consoles is fun, but yeah, Steam is still going to be the first, or the next. Steam and iOS are the next platforms on deck. I'm thinking like I'd maybe release on. Did I ask this last week? Are there still a lot of games that do like Steam Early Access, or is that not a thing as much anymore? Like, would it be worthwhile for me to? I could put Bomb Squad up on Early Access. Is there any like benefit to that, or I should just like launch it at some point? Might need more ads though. What do you mean? What are you referring to? I don't have any Bomb Squad ads. I mean, there's ads in Bomb Squad, but they're. Oh, I think maybe I mentioned that. I was actually looking into if it's possible to have ads on like the Steam version, and there's you are not allowed to actually show ads in a Steam game, which is I think that's kind of cool in a way. I mean, nobody likes ads; they're just kind of like a necessary part of making money with a game, but yeah, apparently if you have a game on Steam, you're not allowed to have them be like ad supported or whatever, which makes sense because Steam doesn't get any of the income from that. So it would, it's understandable. But there was that part of me that was wondering like, oh, is there like an ad network for like Windows or something that I could put in the game? So, if people wanted to watch an ad to open or same thing they can do now on Google Play. I thought about like, oh, maybe that could make sense, but it sounds like, no, that wouldn't make sense because it's not allowed. But I also don't even know if there are any like PC ad networks. So that seems more of like a mobile thing. I'm in Miami. Server I rent is 10 minutes from my house. Why is the latency 50 to 60 milliseconds in 1.4? Some of that 1.4, there's been a decent amount of network changes since 1.4. I think there were some kind of dumb, there's still some dumb code in there, but I think there was more dumb code in there that, like when messages arrive on the server, it would hold on to them for a few milliseconds before processing them, and that would wind up counting as lag, even though it's not network lag. But like the ping would count that time, so that might explain some of it. So what you're seeing is ping might not actually be all the network's fault. It might just be the game like pipelining things in a bad way. I think that has gotten better as far as I know. If people are still running into weird stuff like that, let me know. It should continue to get better as I slowly learn how to code right. Oh, Xbox 360. Oh man, yeah. I get all nostalgic thinking about Xbox 360 stuff. It was back when I was, like I said, the game is largely inspired by big Halo parties I'd have with friends, when we were in college or in our early 20s or whatever, and so everyone would be bringing their Xbox 360s over. Good times. You missed a Wii U? Did you have a Wii U? I've seen like one Wii U in my life. It was so weird because like Wii was everywhere, and then Wii U was like, what? What is this? Wii University? Is that like an education program for the Wii? Like what? What can you buy an Xbox 360 for these days? I'm curious. Or like, I'd be curious what the price is. It did. That did make me wonder. Like, it'd be kind of cool to buy a bunch of old Xbox 360s or something and wire up get some old school Halo going. Call up my friends in the nursing home. Have them come over and play another round. Ah, thank you, sir. I'm glad you liked the game. I always love, you know, I love hearing when people enjoy the game, or you know, little stories about like, oh, I played this with my dad and we have lots of memories, you know, stuff like that. It's like it's so great to hear that. I feel like for me that's very inspiring to keep working on the game. Just hearing neat little stories. 1.8 PC version. So the question, if anyone is going to be Arabic language in 1.8 PC version. That will definitely by 2.0. I will add Unicode support. It just comes down to like when I want to carve out some time to add it to the PC version. I know I feel bad. Yeah, anyone like Arabic folks, or you know, there's a number of other languages that are not available now because Unicode support. So yeah, I'm not sure how long that would take me to add. It's probably like a few days, a day or two. Who knows? It's just one of those things where I need to slot that in at some point. Like I said, I do definitely plan on doing it before the official like Steam launch. Earlier than that, I can't promise anything, but maybe if I need a break from network coding, maybe I can do that at some point. Yeah, this should be the same thing. Basically, what I need to do is like what I'm doing on Android and on official Apple builds is, it just asks the operating system to like draw text that it's not able to draw itself. So the game is able to draw, if you look through the textures in the game, there's like a few texture sheets, which is basically just, English and Cyrillic characters. So, there's a few languages that we can cover with that. But anything beyond that, in terms of like other Unicode characters or emojis or whatever, we need to ask the operating system to do that for us. So it's just like, hey Android, can you draw this string for me? It's got some Arabic characters and an emoji in it, and then Android will send back a texture basically, and then we can show that to the game. So I just need to do that same thing for Windows and Linux theoretically at some point, though that might be trickier. So I know I'm sure with Windows it's probably not that hard. Basically, just hey, Mr. Windows, can you draw this emoji for me? It'd be interesting to look through like Godot or an open source engine just to see if they do things in the same way or differently or whatever. What does soft launch mean? Soft launch, it's kind of I guess it's an industry term, but if a game is soft launching, oftentimes that means that it is launched in like one country, or to like a limited number of players. It's basically like it's available to the public, but like a small part of the public. So that's kind of why when I say like I feel like the game is soft launched, in a way, to me, I'm treating this as like, yeah, it's publicly available on Android and other platforms, but it's not, iOS and Steam and all these other big platforms. It's still not like a full release, It's just a 10-year soft launch. But yeah, I was thinking maybe something like that, like maybe 1.9 on Steam early access, that could work. Something where like I'd be happy to like start slowly rolling it out to Steam, because I kind of feel like there's probably a number of, just getting it to work well on the whole PC ecosystem. There's going to be a variety of video cards. I know I see log messages from some people where it says like OpenGL 3 is not available on this graphics card or whatever, and so that sucks. So it may even be worth like porting the graphics engine to Vulkan or Direct3D or whatever, something that would make that available on 100% of PCs that can run Windows. How's the coffee? The coffee is good. I'm still like super boring. I got my Robo coffee cup. I should go back to using fun, exciting coffee cups every week, but this one is just so good. Just keeps my coffee nice and warm. Oh well, all questions are welcome here, Mr. Block. Feel free to fire away. Unless it's super awkward, then I won't answer. I'm still blown away by like bomb jumps and all the crazy techniques people come up with. Ooh, that is super cool. I like that. So I feel like that's a good example of like this is clearly still the Bomb Squad logo, and like but yeah, that feels very Halloweeny. Good stuff. Save that for next year. We'll you can enter that in the contest. But yeah, very cool. Oh yeah, yeah. I definitely like this. The question is, will there be tournaments in the future? I assume you mean like multiplayer tournaments, and that is a big motivation for me with like the squad system. And so anyone not familiar, my plan is for 1.9 is going to focus on the squad system, which is all just basically cloud-based matchmaking. And so if you start a squad, you'll be able to see whoever your friends are online, invite them to your squad, and then on my cloud servers, it will be able to basically match squads against each other, or handle matchmaking like at a global level. What is this? Is this me? Like that's my coffee I always use.
Let's make the world's strongest coffee with the world's strongest coffee. So here I got the world's strongest coffee, and essentially I'm adding this coffee and dissolving the other coffee with the coffee. It's final season for college students, and I need this to keep me awake. It's a bit thicker than I wanted, but it can't be that bad. Let's try it.
I love it. Oh my God. Oh, thank you for that. But what was I just saying? Oh yeah, squad system. But yeah, that's my hope is like I'm trying to make put all the pieces in place so that the squad system can be super flexible. So the cloud servers will just be like, oh hey, let's take these 100 squads and put them, let's have them play a tournament together or something, or like a battle royale sort of thing, except maybe not all in the same match, just maybe like a quick tournament where it whittles it down to the final teams. So I am super excited about all that stuff. So and I also want to frame it to where with workspaces and stuff, people can make their own mini games and then submit those to the cloud, so then you could just run a tournament of your own mini game. Like that would be super awesome, or your own like set of mini games. So yeah, so many opportunities. Just need to get there. Do an event where you reward the most packed and best servers in all of Bomb Squad. That I hadn't really thought about that, but if that's something that people would like, I'm like I was saying, I'm mostly focusing on squads and stuff and getting to almost, I don't want to say like post server, but getting to something where servers is more, it's more about like making game types and having servers automatically host those, as opposed to like having a single server, that is limited to, 8 people or something. So I'm hopeful that like the people who have the really awesome servers right now with the custom code and all that, they'll still be able to do the same thing. It's just instead of it being like, one server they're maintaining themselves, it'll just be like their own set of cool games and, other stuff that get played on like any server, but it'll still be like theirs. So I still want people to like be able to get recognition for cool things they make. Evro. Is game getting good money? Yes and no. So things are good right now. Like the main thing, it's basically the situation I've mentioned over the last few years since I've been scaling up all these servers is like the game is still making enough money for me. It's just like the servers are very expensive. So when you factor in the servers, it's not making enough to permanently support that. So that's part of why I'm redoing the monetization stuff, just to get the game so it can make a bit more money, so that it can basically pay for all the servers that I'm doing. So so at the moment it's technically in the red, but it is also, it's like an investment period, where it's like I'm working on getting this stuff going, and then once it's going, I think it'll be good. So even though it's technically losing money right now, it's in a good place, I think. So there's no worries about me having to like stop anytime soon or anything like that. The absolute worst thing I would have to do is like scale back the number of servers I'm running or something, but I really don't want to do that. So I want to get the game to a point where I can have as many cloud servers all over the world as I want, and everyone can play on those, and everyone's happy. So yeah, and So yeah, long story short is it's not technically in the green right now, but I think it will be when I think even when 1737 gets done, because this will have like the treasure chest mechanic and the tokens mechanic, and I think that should make the game a bit more self-sustaining. Um, how do I afford? Well, I mean, with like one thing I've learned with indie games is that it's kind of a feast or famine sort of thing. Sometimes, like when you release a game, the game might make a ton of money for a short bit, and then not any after that. So it's like you just when it is making money, it's good to save some of that for the times when it's not. So I have enough saved up right now where even though the game is technically losing money at the moment, I'm fine. Yeah, I can afford that for quite a while I'm working on getting the servers working. It is a nice bit of motivation though, knowing that like, okay, I need to make this, need to get this back in the green at some point. So it keeps me working. Do you pick up side jobs to sustain development? No, I'm very lucky that I've saved enough or made enough with Bomb Squad that I can, yeah, just kind of exist off savings. So I don't need to do anything else on the side. For a while, I've mentioned before, I was working with my friends. This was back in like 2016, 2017 on the zombie gunship games and stuff. I didn't do it really for the money. I did it because it was like a fun project and a good group of friends, and it seemed like potential to be a big thing. So it was, and I learned a ton from that. But I also made I basically had a dual income there for a few years, so I was able to save a decent amount then. So that covers covers server costs, helps me cover server costs while things are still developing. I do feel very lucky that the game gets a lot of downloads still just organically. I'm not having to pay for ads or anything like that. So I do feel like there's a plenty big user base there to be able to have the game support itself, which I think I know that's a hard thing for a lot of indie games is, there's so many games out there. I saw stats of like Steam, like how many games get posted, how many new games show up on Steam like every day, stuff like that. And so it's so hard to get noticed if you're like an indie game. And then even if you do, if you get like go viral or something, it's like some games might make a ton of money for a few weeks and then fall off. So however it worked out with Bomb Squad, I'm very thankful and lucky that it's kind of been a somewhat consistent number of downloads for years and years. So knock on wood, hopefully it stays that way. Especially with, I do feel bad that the game is like, there's not too much new content. I know I've been working a ton on modding and, back end stuff and hopefully making it easier to make cool stuff in the game. But if someone just picks up the game versus someone who played it 5 years ago, they might be like, hey, nothing's changed. But my plan is still, like we were saying before, like hopefully this stuff will lead to like a golden age where it's really easy for people to make stuff. And so we'll see where it goes. So how's roadmap? I mean, well, we're still on the same roadmap, still finishing up 1.8. There's one, I should have updated the roadmap actually, probably to add this 1737 stuff I've been doing just because it's been taking a long time. And for anyone not familiar, the stuff I'm talking about is just like this revamped UI with like what's called toolbar mode up here, and just how everything kind of works a bit different. Some of these parts still need to be filled out, like there's the inbox, inventory, yeah. So if you're doing modding, like this stuff, this should make it, or this, I mean, let me know if you have a different experience, but this should make it a lot easier to add new like windows that you can navigate through and different things. Because it does things like it keeps track of like the back locations for you and stuff like that. So it's a bit more like writing a modern UI in some other system. There's still the really ugly UI functions, just like BUI dot button, stuff like that. The weird verbose way that you have to like create things, but it works. It's good enough for the moment. Wii U. Aw. I love peaceful, tranquil things like that. A lot of your servers are empty. Should you do something? I mean, again, I think like my goal is just to replace the server, or not replace, but come up with the squad system, which I think will just be better than the server system. I don't. So even though there are probably empty servers, and some places probably feel a little abandoned at times, I kind of feel like I shouldn't spend time trying to improve that. I should spend my time trying to get towards squad system, which shouldn't have that problem. It should be like come in, hop in a squad, hit play or match or whatever, maybe invite a friend or two or not, and then hit like play. It'll try to match you to somebody else wanting to play that same thing, or it'll maybe drop you into a game with bots if not. So that should get rid of the feeling of like being in an empty mall or something like that, which I guess it could probably feel that way if you're looking through a list with empty servers. Okay, so you're still having that problem. Opening the game on PC. I'm trying to think what I can direct you to do, because for me, or for any debugging, it's like to fix a problem, I need to be able to reproduce the problem on my end, and I don't think I can. I'll have to try, but I don't think I can reproduce that on my end. So maybe there's something else I can have you try just to be able to get a log message or something telling us what's happening. But yeah, or if you look into, I don't know, debuggers or install Visual Studio or something. I want to fix problems, but it's like when there's a problem that I have no idea what it is, like that just makes it hard to fix. I'd be down for a game if anyone else is. We could end up maybe like 11:30 or 11:35 or something. We could hop in a game if someone wants to host. Okay, I know I'm bad at looking into stuff, but I'll try to look into this and see if I can see anything obvious with what could have happened with your account. Oh, can you test soundtrack? The soundtrack volume goes full even if you set the volume to low. Is this on Android or? I have I'm admittedly like slacking on soundtracks. Like I think I tested them somewhat recently, but I can see there being bugs there that I missed. Well, so with the soundtracks, like the Android soundtrack system is completely different from like the Mac soundtrack system. In the Mac case, it's like sending messages to like the Apple Music app to like, hey, play this playlist or whatever. On Android, it's sending messages to like the Android OS to be like, hey, play this file. There's this MP3 file, play this. So there's probably like different messages in that case for like setting the volume, and maybe that's not getting passed or something. I can try to take a look at that. Is anyone else able to reproduce that? Or is anyone is the volume working for other people? Like, are any of you guys using custom soundtracks on Android? And is the volume doing what it's supposed to? I'm curious if that's just like a bug everywhere, or if that's limited to like a certain OS or phone or something. I see gamer 903156. Like I said, I'll try to take a look, see if I can see anything that could have happened or get to the bottom of that. Well, why don't we wait till 11:30? I feel like we can do the last half hour. I feel like that's good. Unless nobody else has any questions or thoughts or anything. Give me some eggs. Oh, interesting. All right, I'm going to make a screenshot of that to remind me to check that same thing. Like I said, anytime you all find bugs like this, the more info like on a repro case as they call them, it's good. Basically like a step by step of like, hey, if I launch the game and press this button and then do this bug happens. Like if you can come up with a step by step set of instructions that like always cause the bug to happen, or like in this case, if you have a little thing that, oh, if I do this, the bug goes away, like stuff like that is always super useful for bug fixing. It's funny, I get like there's support at friendly.net, which is like my support email, and I get emails on there sometimes like, the game is broken, fix it. Like, what? I'm not psychic. Like, what? You need to tell me a little bit more than that. Gamer, I'll take a look at your account, see if I can see what happened. Might be able to restore something. Can't promise anything, but I'll take a look. I do, that's another case where I need to add better logging. If people, occasionally there are people that lose their accounts. I would like to know what's happening there. If it's something like their Google Play account got reset or something, or Google changed their account ID under the hood, or some sort of like account, someone unlinked an account without them knowing. There's like a lot of stuff that could happen there. So yeah, I never want anyone to like lose data, and I try to be as careful as I can with coding this stuff. But yeah, apologies if you run into anything. Efro. Oh, whoops. What type of music? Where are we going? I like a lot of music. When I'm coding, I like to listen to just like ambient stuff. Let's see. My kick I've been on lately is like stuff like this, like synth wavy. But my sub kick lately has just been like Blade Runner-y stuff, like just throwing on something like this with just like film noir, rainy cyber cityscape feeling sort of thing. I don't know. I love it. But yeah. But that's just for like background music, for like if I'm coding and I'm coding something not super intense to where I can like listen to music, then yeah, I put on something like that. Aside from that, I've always liked like soundtracks or your standard like rock and alternative and stuff like that. Little country here and there. Little Johnny Cash, but I do love classical music is great too. I do want to like dive in and find some new like public domain or classical music I can license not cheaply, but just license for new mini games and things. For that, I was inspired by, did any of you watch like Looney Tunes, like the old school, like Bugs Bunny and all that? They always had like, or Merry Melodies, Looney Tunes. There was always like classical music in the background with some of those, and just like zany stuff happening with like some Bach or Beethoven. Like that was kind of my inspiration for like, all these old like classical pieces that I liked, but they're sort of humorous when played in the background of some crazy little violent game or whatever. What? Super pack. 200. What?
Hey, yo, ¿cómo están? Espero que estén de lo mejor. Bienvenido.
What? Oh my gosh. I am I'm slacking. I need to come up with more characters. That is awesome. But that doesn't get me thinking. Like, yeah, people making all these cool characters. Like, I'd love to be able to like have that be shareable and whatnot. I need to make sure I do it in a way that I'm not going to get sued or whatever, or I can, license something from the proper companies or something like that. Can you do something? Well, that depends on the something. Oh, you're talking about your account. I will do my best to look into it after the stream. I can't do something right now because if I'm poking around your account on a live stream, that's probably not good. Hopefully it's not. Well, though it could be bad. Like those old V1 accounts, there's a decent amount of like security through obscurity there, where if people know like your internal account ID or whatever, that could be a bad thing. So I shouldn't be looking stuff up right now. Oh no, it's oh shoot, did I miss your question here? I'm so bad at multitasking. Cool, I like it. Yeah, it looks good. Has that kind of like lighthearted, casual, cartoony vibe. I feel like I was never good at that style. Like I totally appreciate that kind of style of cartoons and art, but I was always like I was always like doing the like realistic, more type stuff. Even though I've kind of gotten away from that a bit. The whole like art style of Bomb Squad was trying to be more like this with like clay and like loosey goosey and just like feeling less even though it is like real looking just because it's clay or whatever, just kind of more caricatured. So yeah, I like it. Yeah, sorry I missed that a minute ago. Okay, I'll take a look at your DM, but yeah, apologies for the problems you're running into, but yeah, stop spamming. All right, what do you guys want to hop in and play a bit to wrap up the day? Cool, yeah, someone, well, I guess probably doesn't matter where you host from. It's going to be a little laggy for me. I assume it'll be somewhere in Europe or over there. So most of my public servers, they're basically just the vanilla playlists. I don't think I have any that have specific playlists. You can do that if you're hosting a private server. That'll host on the same servers that mine are on, but you can do your own playlist that way. I was thinking of making some functionality where you can like host a public server with your own playlist and just have it show up in the list, but I haven't done that. Like I said, at this point, I'm mostly leaning towards spending my time working towards squads versus improving like the servers and playlists and things like that. How's this the? I wasn't expecting the dancey version. That's cool. But yeah, that song like without the dance beats, like that could work. I'm trying to like picture like what scenario that would make sense in. All right, yeah, someone throw in a party, throw the code in here when you got it. Probably doing a private party would be best. Just because then it hosts on one of the AWS servers, so it's usually predictably lag-free. But yeah, someone in Europe or somewhere over there where, closer to everybody else. That would be good to do. I should maybe make an option so you can like pick exactly where, if you're hosting, like where it's going to get hosted. So if you do host a private party, like I should just add something here, just like pick a server region or just have it be automatic by default. Right now it's always automatic. Let's see, I'm going to turn on ping. Oh, I guess, is that the code? I was, I thought you were just typing like, yeah, 8. Okay, that worked. I'm trying to think, like, where is their screen space? I need to move these, like, numbers out of the way of the settings icon. That's another little to-do list thing here. What was I doing? Oh, yeah. England versus Ireland. I didn't even notice that. Oh no! All up to Mike. Too late. Sorry. Yeah, these colors are like a bit close. I guess you can tell if you're looking at the names. Oof. Oh, nice landmine. Press B. Good job, Ireland. I am not a pro player. At least, oh my gosh, so fast. Yeah, give me those eggs. I feel like I've never actually played Easter egg hunt competitively. It's cool. Why don't you want eggs? Oof. Yeah, go Ireland. Oops. So my username is Efro2 because I think this is a test build of the game, and so I'm signed in with like a test account, basically. My regular account is just Efro. But a lot of times when I'm working, I will, be basically like create and destroy accounts just to test things. So that's usually what Efro2 is. It's like a temporary account that I probably made like a week ago, and I'll probably like delete it. So yeah, I'm still Efro, but temporarily I'm Efro too. Oh, whoops, that's teammate. Oh my gosh. I'm so used to doing free-for-all, I still just like viciously attack teammates. I apologize. Oh no, oh no. What was even going on there? Stop that bear. Was there? What? It didn't work? TD? Ooh. Out over. Yeah, Ireland. I think I have like a little bit of Irish ancestry. Though I also have a little English ancestry, so I don't know which team I should be rooting for here. Make a tournament in Discord. Like, what kind of tournament? How does Splatoon... I haven't played Splatoon. What do they have? Is that like something you can pick as a player or something? Because I mean, by default, servers will have default colors, but if the server wants to, they can customize them like this. But are you saying Splatoon has a way for players to override that or something and like always see the default colors? Oh, okay, cool, cool. That's an interesting idea. Unfortunately, I would have to, like, maybe I can keep that in mind for the next time there's like a protocol update. Right now, there's no concept of, yeah, like the server just sends out like the exact color everything is. There's no concept of like, oh, this is Team 1, so if you want, you could use Team 1's color. But that would be interesting in the future to add. Oh. We'll see with determination. Oh, that's cool. I will have to I'll have to go listen to that while I'm coding. I'm always like a little scared to listen to music on here in case it does that whole like YouTube copyright thing. It did that to me once or twice where it was like, you can't post this till you get rid of this section. But no, it's all good. Oh, it might not be copyrighted, so yeah, I'm just being excessively cautious. But yeah, sounds cool. Good music makes all the difference, though. Yeah, just having something that's all like inspiring. I know I picked some of Bomb Squad stuff just because it was just like silly. It was kind of funny, but yeah, when you get some just like intense hardcore music, that can be good too. Man, I'm trying to like watch the chat while playing. That makes me so bad. I mean, I'm bad in the first place, but if I go look at the chat, it takes me like 10 seconds to like find myself again. Oh gosh. Ooh, I accidentally hit an enemy for a change. Oh. Yeah, it would be interesting, yeah, to test how many packets can be sent to players before it lags. Why do you say? Are you lagging, or? I'm not quite sure. Like, it would be interesting. I don't know how I would test that. It's almost like you just have to, because lag can, you know, show its ugly head in different ways. You know, players could have just like a lag spikes, or just be dropping packets. But yeah, it makes me wonder, like, how I would watch for that. Mogwai's just like, hey, I win. But yeah, on that topic, yeah, what I'd love to have at some point is just some simple little graph that you could turn on that would just kind of, when you're writing a mini game or whatever, it would just kind of show you how much network bandwidth you're using, or I don't know, just something to like give you a guideline of like, oh hey, you should probably stop spawning things at this point, or have a few less bots or whatever, or use a few less like background emit calls for, you know, emitting random physicsy things. Because yeah, I would be curious to know, yeah, if like what random things cause bandwidth. Like if I add a new spaz, like what bandwidth does that add? Or, you know, if I make 10 calls to add prop nodes, like what kind of bandwidth effects does that have versus like a spaz? So it'd just be cool to like be able to keep your finger on that, so to speak. Oh, go Ireland! Oh wow, that was That was fast. Oh. Nice. Oh, sorry, Pingu. No, Pingu. No. Sorry. I should not be trusted with ice bombs. Yeah, it would be cool to. It'd be neat if it was possible to have like. Oh, Pengu! I'm sorry, I'm just killing Pengu left and right. It'd be cool if it were possible to eliminate lag. I'm still hoping, get some client prediction in there to help reduce it. And also, I think that does help is having servers all over the world. Like, I keep hoping Amazon will open more so I can get servers close to people. But even in that case, it's a bummer because like it's impossible to, eliminate lag if you want people that are far apart to play each other. So theoretically you can have zero lag if everyone is like in the same town or whatever, or you can have very small lag, but yeah, the other team won't have small lag, so ugh. Ooh, what's your idea? Oh, equal big lag for all. That would theoretically be possible. Like, yeah, you could add like artificial lag for players who don't have it. Like, so everybody's lag would match the worst person. I wonder if any games do that. It would seem like, in general, that would seem like a bad idea because it's going to make the game feel laggy for some people, but technically it would be fair. Or yeah, maybe that would be another way. Is like you could host the game in a place that is like equally far from everybody. That will be really interesting once squads mode happens, because that's going to be. I'm going to have to write some code to try to decide like if these set of 6 players want to play a game, and we have these 20 server locations available in the world, like where should we serve from? My thought is, you'd probably just want to like pick the server whichever is closest to most people. But that would be interesting. I feel like it might be too ambitious to try to like pick one that is equally, is going to make a equal amount of lag for everybody. It kind of seems like you just want to try to pick one that's going to be as close as possible to everybody and hope for the best. That would be interesting though. But like I said, you could tell the server like, hey, match everybody's lag to like the laggiest person. But then that could backfire too if you have like somebody playing on a really crappy phone or something. Then suddenly everyone has like 300 milliseconds lag. That would be bad. But you could, like, that is an interesting point. You could technically always add lag artificially. Ah! No, bad bear. Game of tag? Yeah, that could be cool. I mean, it's a little bit like Chosen One is kind of like tag. It's just you kill them. Or well, yeah, I guess yeah, tag would be significantly different from Chosen One. It's I was gonna say it's a little similar to different things like Keep Away or whatever. It's just instead of it'd be touch based instead of flag based. And I guess kind of the opposite. Yeah, I'm just thinking like fundamentally what it would feel like. But yeah, that could be kind of fun. Just, you know, you could even have it be like Meteor Shower where it disables all, you know, punches and stuff, so it would just be running around. I don't know, maybe you'd want to like leave punches and stuff enabled, but then that might just be annoying because it's like you're trying to run away from somebody and some rando keeps punching you. I'm surprised that I feel like there's got to be a version of tag out there. Has somebody made tag? It's a game like tag, but you just kill them. So it's like, tag, you're it. Tag, you're dead. I should do a better job of like flagging servers or something that use mods, or you know, something like that. So I know there's some people that like want to avoid mods on servers and vice versa, or you know, just like a filter by modded servers button or something. But mods are, well, I kind of feel like people that want to avoid mods are probably people that just don't like a lot of mods, or you know, they have an overall negative opinion of mods because maybe they see a bunch of poorly made ones or something. So then maybe that means like the solution there is to somehow steer people towards good mods, or you know, if you have a mod that a lot of people like playing, then you know, get that in front of more people. So that's what I'm hoping we can do with squads and stuff, is like if there's a popular mod, you know, maybe people would see that more. And if there's a not popular mod or something where it's just like Billy's first mod and it's maybe not the most fun, then you know, it can still be something people would play with their friends or whatever, but it maybe would kind of hide that from people by default, or you know, it wouldn't be as easy to find. Oh no! I swear, I'm like 30% with ice bombs on hitting the team I'm aiming for. Yeah, this is a epically large like score we're going for. Oh wow! Oh, good accidental shot, me. Oh yeah, the question there. So there are a bunch of kind of names in the game, like warrior, stuff like that, where it's basically placeholders. And the reason I did that is because I put them in the game a while ago so that everyone would get those placeholders, so that if I finally like changed those and actually implemented those characters, like implemented the warrior or the whatever, then older versions of the game would still be able to play. They would just see like the placeholder version ones. Does that make sense? But that's all kind of obsolete once 1.8 is out, because 1.8 will support downloading characters, so I don't need placeholders anymore. So I should probably... So that makes me think I should remove those placeholders, but then that might... I mean, I probably should. I'll probably just remove those placeholders, but that will, theoretically, if somebody is using those placeholders, that will kind of crash their game or something if they join the server. Or if someone joins a server that is using placeholder characters, but then those placeholders are gone. Like, so I'll have to think about that a little bit. Because it is kind of wasted space in the APK to have those basically redundant placeholder characters. Aha! But that's the story for them anyway, is that they were there so that I could add stuff without forcing people to download new copies of the game. Yeah, it's fine to use them. They're totally fine. Like I said, the only danger could be at some point if I take them out to save space. At that point, there might be problems. But I should probably do that in a smart way. I could just... In 1.8, maybe I could have it just like download those placeholder assets. But yeah, no problem using them for now. It's just like, I feel like some people think they're like different. Like, oh, look, it's a slightly different version of Spaz that's like a warrior. It's like, no, it's just a copy of the Spaz textures. It's just a placeholder. Oh yeah, fire away any questions. How to make a button round. Is there... I mean... Any round buttons are probably like custom textures. So I think there's some textures that are just like round clay nubbins and stuff like that. So yeah, if you want like a totally round button, it's probably best to just use a custom texture for it. My suggestion would be if you see something in the UI that has like a round button that you want to copy, just track down that UI code and copy whatever it's doing. No, by default, like the button press area, it will still be like a rectangle, but it's just the texture will be a circle. So, yeah, button areas. I think in newer versions you can like offset the left, right, up, down like button rectangle, but it's still going to be a rectangle. So it'll look like it might look like a circle, but it's technically still a rectangle. I feel like that's kind of normal though for round buttons in UIs. Is like it's not actually a circle. It just looks like a circle. It's like the menu button up here. Like this is, if you mouse over it, I think you'll see it's actually a rectangle here. Even though it looks round. But yeah, in most cases, I feel like no one's going to notice if the hit area for a circle is not actually a circle. I think that's just kind of like why UIs do it that way, because it's not really that big of a deal. And sometimes it's good to like cheat the clickable area of the button anyway, to have it be a little bit bigger. So it's, especially in like a touch UI or something, like someone's finger might actually not quite be in the circle, but it probably isn't bad to have it still count as a press. How am I still alive? Oh my gosh. Oh! Well done, England. Well done. Yeah. Possible to make a node clickable. Not that I can think of. I mean, you'd have to, like the UI stuff is basically all clickable, but the in-game stuff really never is. Those are kind of like two separate worlds. Just because, largely that stuff is, in-game, and there can be, yeah, it would be complicated, like how to communicate, like what that should do. Also, that would be a security thing. Like if you host a game and you create a node that like runs some Python code when you click it, like we don't want to allow people to run arbitrary Python code on someone else's system. Even if it is triggered by them clicking it, that would be bad. So it is kind of, yeah, UI stuff and node stuff are very, very separate worlds. Oh no! So yeah, I mean, you could do like the Bomb Squad logo in the main menu as a UI thing, just like a button with an image override or whatever. And then it would be clickable by local people, though it wouldn't show up for remote people. Oh dear. Yay! All right. Well, y'all can keep playing. I'm gonna bow out though, just because we're about at the 2-hour mark. So that was fun. Except yeah, I do think the team colors were just a little close, made it a little tricky, but we made do. At least I got 55 points. I need to just take a week and practice being better at multiplayer. All right, everyone. Well, it's been fun. I guess I'm trying to think what would be a good name for. I'll get this up on YouTube. What would be a good theme for this week's episode? Just Halloween? Do we have any good quotes from today or anything? Or okay, yeah, we talked about tag, talked about Halloween icons. I showed logging levels. That's very exciting. All right. Well, I'll have to give it some thought. Available anything that shows how to make the game engine into APK, Windows, etc. I mean, there's stuff on the wiki for Windows. There's still not much on APK stuff. Right now, if you wanted to, you could take like a copy of the standard Bomb Squad APK and gut some of that and like stuff your own scripts in. I think there's tutorials around for how to do that. You just have to, it's kind of roundabout and ugly. I do plan to make the Android version buildable from the GitHub. So right now, yeah, if you go to GitHub and poke around on the wiki here, there's stuff like getting started or native layer. Native layer tells how to, like, if you want to compile the engine like the C++ code, like on Windows or anything else, or CMake. You know, CMake is used for Mac or Linux. And then, yeah, Visual Studios, that's for building the Windows version. But other than that, just, you know, building prefab builds or whatever, this should cover Windows here. So if you're wanting to build the game for Windows and you're running into problems, let me know. But yeah, I do want to, at some point, there is some technical how to build on Android, but this is like if you've installed like Termux or, you know, kind of a Unix-y build environment on Android, you can technically build there. I have not done that myself, so I can't vouch for any of this. But at some point, I want to make, you know, make it so that you can just run like a make Android or whatever from your Mac or from, you know, PC or Linux or whatever, and it'll just like assemble an APK for you. So that's on the to-do list. Maybe right after 1.8 or something soonish, because I'd love for people to be able to kind of make little spin-off projects or, you know, hack around with the game scripts and then just spit out an APK just to mess around with. That would be cool. Show something in stream? Oh, sure, yeah. Do you want me to end my stream and we can end with your show and tell? Okay, sounds good. All right, so everyone hop over to Vishu's stream. I'm going to stop this one for the moment. Cool. Oh, oh wow, interesting. I do like those different moods are so like they give it's just, you know, a color change, but it gives the game a different color. Now it feels like post-apocalyptic Bomb Squad. Very cool stuff. So how are you doing that, if I may ask? Is there like a invisible UI there or something? Okay. Does it line up like if you're resizing? I guess it would, right? Like it should. Yeah, I was mentioning before, like it'd be fun to make the logo moddable. Like stuff like this would be neat. Yeah, just like different moddable logos with fun little effects like this, or different styles. Yeah, let's see the code. That also reminds me that I'm hoping to, in one of the tabs at some point, like there's the UI tab for the dev console. It'd be cool to have some controls there to like show outlines of buttons and UI bits and stuff. Because in cases like this, if you have like an invisible button, it could still be good to like see where it is or whatever. Or I know sometimes if you're making containers or other widgets where it's like a background, you have like a container widget, but then you turn off the background. Sometimes that's useful for like making scrollable things. It would still be neat to be able to see like what the bounds of that is. Are you going to show the code? Is that in stream or? Some say that if they get account ID of anyone, they can hack it. Why? So there are some vulnerabilities for V1 accounts. That's like the old account system where in some cases, if you can like learn someone's account ID, you can kind of impersonate their account. I don't want to like talk details about it, but there were some vulnerabilities. It shouldn't let you, well, yeah, I don't want to talk any particulars to like point people towards stuff, but that's largely why I've been moving everything in the game towards V2 accounts, which are, I believe, very secure. So if you have an old account and you haven't upgraded it to a V2 account, I would suggest doing that, because then you can have it be password protected or whatever. It'll like none of the janky old hacks that used to work for V1 accounts should work for V2. There may still be ways to like hack, because a V2 account, when you sign in with a V2 account and you get your little V2 logo, it's also signing you in with a V1 account that like has that same name and logo. So there may still be ways that people could do some mischief with the V1 side of it, but the V2 side of it should be fully secure. So again, I don't want to get into too many specifics about like what mischief people can do with V1 accounts, but when I was writing all that stuff, I was being a little like too careless with it in terms of like who's going to go to all this effort to like impersonate someone else's account in this goofy little game, and turns out people do. So learned my lesson. But yeah, lesson is move towards V2 accounts if you haven't yet. They are better. One sec, I'll get the stream back up. Okay, I'm back. So depending on the type of account, like if it's a local device account, like those are the kind of probably the worst, because a local device account is based on, just a little, on some platforms it's just based on a little file that has an ID in there somewhere. So if somebody has that ID and they stuff that ID in their little file, then they can kind of hijack your account, because it's all just stored in a little file, which, like I said, is not secure, and so that's why I would suggest migrate to a V2 when you can. So yeah, don't use just device accounts anymore or any of the old stuff. That stuff should be disabled by default. So if you come in here, come into the account section, which I'm signed in, even though it says I'm not, because I still got to fix that. Yeah, by default, you should just have V2 sign in available here. If you have your old account still and you need that to show up, you can come in and do show deprecated account types, and then come up here and you'll see like device account. But yeah, you should don't rely on device accounts anymore. If you sign in with this, it should prompt you to upgrade it to a V2, and so you should do that. You should always be signing in. If you're running an Android phone or an Apple device, it should let you sign in with Google Play or Game Center or whatever like the default thing is. So it should be nice and easy. But if you don't have that available, just use this. You'll just need to sign up with a email and password, and that's all nice and secure and everything. Full lag laptop. Oh no. So anyway, yeah, Vishu, did you want to show any other code stuff, or is your laptop literally on fire right now? Okay, all right. We'll save something for next time. That's super cool though. Like, it does look neat with the different colors on the main. It's like I said, it's funny how much of a different mood that gives, just like changing the tint color. On the verge of crashing. Oh no, that's not good then. All right, well, let the poor thing slow down. I guess, yeah, streaming and running the game and whoever else is getting a little tired. So, moderator of BS, Dave Fromling? What? Okay, anyway, yeah, we're 19 minutes over, so yeah, I should stop here and get this uploaded and posted tomorrow. I'll think of a clever name for it. But yeah, I know I was hoping to have something to show by this week in terms of getting that 1737 UI done, but I really hope next time that UI will be all wired up and done and be able to do treasure chests and all that good stuff. So yeah, I will get back to coding, and everybody, it's been fun. Thanks for joining this week, and I will see all of you folks in the next episode. Probably should be in 2 weeks, unless we'll have to see. I think 2 weeks will work. We're coming up on like the Thanksgiving holiday in the U.S. and everything like that, so there could be conflicts, but I will holler if there are. But anyway, been fun, and catch all you folks later. So peace out.